Viktoria. I'm lead of market research at actionable. actionable is a global digital network with a focus on video games. We have actionable media portal, actionable talent matchmaking platform, and a research team, which I'm representing today. My field of interest is neuromarketing. And as a huge fan of biology and psychology, I'm really into researching what is in between them, our brain. And that's why I'm here today. Because, mental health, a well-being of your brain and mind is as important as your physical health. And in post-pandemic time, we all know why is it so important to maintain our physical well-being, and most of us know how to do that. But we still do not put much attention to our mental health. That's why I want to ask you to ask yourself a question. Does toxic workplace culture have something in common with viruses? And what weapon that we all know about can be used against it? At the end of the presentation, we will answer this question together with you. And I want to start you to, point this idea, and we will come back to it a bit later. I want to start with a few words shared by Yves Crivachet in the actionable podcast. Yves Crivachet is an executive director of TakeBiz, a mental health advocacy organization that is focused on video game industry and community. She said, the game industry, which tends to work people for really long hours, tend to include a work environment where harm, abuse, sometimes lack of managerial skills, as well as an idea that passion is what keeps us employed, which is very toxic, by the way. All these make it hard to maintain your well-being. And these things, this is something that people just usually don't talk about, or they think that this is fine, but this is not fine. And today I'm going to share with you some data points to illustrate what industry transformation we are observing now, what mental health challenges game developers face, and how to identify burnout on early stage. We will discuss what keeps people motivated and care about the product that you are building together. We will see how we can build a culture of respect and care, and how to approach hiring process to make it sustainable. At the end, I will share with you some tips and tools, and we will have a Q&A session. But before we move forward, I want to ask a few questions from you guys. Please raise your hand if you're currently employed in a video game development company or you run one. Thank you very much. Please keep your hands raised if you're managing a team, or you are responsible for hiring process, for human resource management process. Okay, got you. Thank you very much. I want to highlight that there are different opportunities to make a change. And the fact that you are sitting together here today, ready to listen, explore, and learn and act, that means a lot. And I will do my best to equip you with knowledge and tools based on our research to help you move from burnout to a balance in your workplace environment. And the first thing I want to talk with you about is the elephant in the room. So let's talk about layoffs. In 2023, game industry faced a series of layoffs happened in such companies as Roblox, Blizzard, Team 17, Naughty Dog, Twitch, and many more. Estimated total amounts of rounds of layoffs is more than 100, and it affected more than 6,000 people, which is huge. These events attributed to economic challenges and changes and the cost cuts measures that companies decided to make. And while game industry and game development professionals face mass layoffs, the industry might face mental health crisis. As a response of layoffs, workers are unionizing, like it is happening in Poland, where they started talking about it after a wave of layoffs happened in CD Projekt Red. And this is what's said on Polish Game Dev Workers Union website. This event created a tremendous amount of stress and uncertainty. It affecting our mental health and leading to a creation of this union in response. We believe that mass layoffs is a danger to game development industry, and we believe that unionizing is a way to preserve the industry's potential in times of crisis. But first comes game resignation, and now businesses around the world face and experience a great gloom. A chart of bamboo trend research reveals that there is a decrease in average satisfaction rate among employees, which is plummeting 10 times faster than rates from the previous 3 years. Today, employees experience less extremes and just simply accept that the moral is getting worse. And this is something that can happen during bust times, which is a part of bust, boom, bust cycle, hopefully boom, bust, boom cycle, which comes up to boom. And this period of time can be characterized as money gets expensive, companies try to protect their profit margins and perform cost-cutting measures. And this is the time when innovation is so needed. And we all know what is the key part of innovation, right? There are 3 capabilities of innovation, and all they have one thing in common: creativity, which is a key driver of innovation. And sometimes creativity considered as a default feature of creative teams in video game industry, but this is where expectations meet reality. Because in real life, creativity and creative teams work well only if their fair participation and healthy debate are supported in team culture, where there is a culture supported by a leader of the team, where everyone can make mistakes, everyone can share their ideas without a fear of being judged. Leaders lead by an example and show their vulnerability, and there are shared norms, because at the end of the day, we're all human. And this is a very important part of human-oriented approach in teams. What doesn't work? Competing agendas, dominating personalities, and inconsistent norms. Sounds familiar? Well, you are not alone. Numerous studies show that game developers experience mental health challenges. And there are many factors contributing to this trend. But if you look at the dates of the most recent reports, we will find out that there is not enough information about mental health state of the industry in the post-pandemic time, and especially considering what we've just discussed and these events happening during this year. It's very important to get some more data to discuss together. That's the gap that we want to fill in with our research. Our research team gathered information from external reports. We talked with local and international experts. We ran a survey among more than 500 game development professionals from 56 countries, specializing in different areas such as digital art, game design, game programming, and management, and many more. We have a very diverse group of people from different companies, different sizes, and representing different years of experience in the industry. If you have something to share, but you haven't participated in the survey or just didn't have a chance to look at it and to actually share your own opinion and feedback, please join our Raise Your Hands activities today, join our Q&A session, and reach out to me directly. I'm here to listen to you and to talk about these things. And before we move forward, another question for you guys. Do you know what, raise your hand if you know what crunch is. Okay, great. For those of you who don't know what is it, you're the lucky one. Crunch means a form of unpaid overtime where game developers are forced to work for really long hours to finish the project. Please keep your hands raised if you experience it this year. Okay, thank you for sharing. That's what we are going to discuss today, because our research and survey reveals that game developers face this year not only crunch culture, but toxic culture, layoffs, quiet hiring, unpaid overtime, and burnout. And if crunch culture is something that usually game developers can discuss, other topics are still remain stigmatized. And this is where I want to put your attention that this is okay, not be okay, and talk about it. Some research shows that 1 out of 2 people experience mental health challenges at least once at a certain point of their life. It's half of the population. What I want to put attention on is solutions that we need to come up to overcome these challenges. Our research shows that there are many companies that are trying to support mental health of their employees. And they implement flexible work hours, remote work policies, promoting a supportive culture, regular breaks, time off to prevent burnout. But there are also 90% of companies who do not take any measures to support their employees and their well-being, mental health. And the average rate 3 out of 5 means that there is still area of improvement for us. Unfortunately, many respondents pointed out that companies just create an appearance about employees, that they care about employees' mental health. One of the respondents called it band-aids for undressed crunch culture. And another one shared that without the responsibility of management, top managers and direct managers, about project decision, the ability to spread workload efficiently, and no health hours, no massage sessions could compensate the stress. Majority of respondents shared that they experienced burnout at some point last year, this year, and some of them mentioned that they're constantly dealing with a very unhealthy level of stress. And why is it important to talk about it and monitor the level of stress that your employees experience? I want to share with you this quadrant, the model that shows that there is actually a very important level of challenge that is needed. I don't like to call it level of stress, level of challenge that is needed to keep your team in the flow state. But you can see over here that skills should be also matched with the challenge that the employee is facing. And for example, if some of you, you probably know this feeling when you look at the task and it's so complicated, so huge, that you do not know where to start. This is where your manager and you as a leader need to come and help and support your employee with sometimes performing some micromanagement, but still divide this task into small milestones and celebrate each of them. By doing this, you can support your employee and help him to move to the flow state. Do you feel, guys, raise your hand if you feel that this year you experienced, well, most of the time you experience a very optimal level of stress. Raise your hand if you one of those. Okay, so no hands, right? Well, half hand means, guys, that you probably experienced burnout at some point, right? Please don't raise hands. Thanks for sharing. It's okay. According to experts' opinion, it's crucial to be attentive and identify stress on early stages. Why? Because as General Manager Virtuous Colomper said, creating an open and supportive environment culture can help in this regard. And it's important because it's a responsibility of a company to provide tools and resources to support mental health of their employees. And for those of you who are managing a team, please take in mind, always remember that you're managing individuals. It means that if they give you, yes, they will give you the best work they can if they feel that they are respected and they are safe. So all respondents pointed out that respect and trust is the basis of a workplace culture where ideas can be shared, where mistakes can be made, and at the end we will find that one idea that will help us to bring us from a bust state to a boom state in our boom-bust-boom cycle. So let's summarize it. We must foster a psychological safety, which is an environment where everyone feels safe and ready to take risks. How to do that? You can frame a work process as a learning process and foster in everyone a sense of humanity so they will feel that their ideas as well as other ideas needed to be shared, even if they're not completed yet. And by fostering humanity, you will see that employees will understand, and you yourself need to show it, that there are gaps in knowledge and even in yourself, and you need to be able to make mistakes as well. And this is a part of psychological safety that we're talking here about. Each person feels, if he feels that his knowledge, his expertise and experience are essential but not comprehensive, can create that environment that you will be surprised how efficient it becomes and how many actually creative ideas there are. Within this learning process path, don't forget about two things. If your employee is doing a wrong thing really good, he needs to move to doing a right thing, but he probably will do it poorly at the first time, right? And by providing psychological support, you will help him to transition to this state. And after that, by providing instrumental guidance, you can help them to learn and to grow and to do the right thing well. Also remember that it's crucial to be able to put yourself in other people's shoes and understand that other people in their brains, they work differently. At some point, we might face a task that we cannot complete within a long period of time, and our dopamine level is so low that we are not able to do anything to share feedback. We don't have resources for that. And this is why putting yourself in other people's shoes can help, because then you will understand why psychological and managerial support is so important, because it helps people to feel satisfaction again and be in that flow state. Talking about satisfaction, let's take a look at the employees' net promotion score in game development. What we find out, ENPS is a score that helps to understand if the employees are satisfied with the company they work at and can recommend to other people. It's a metric that is calculated as number of people who voted for 9 and 10 out of 10, minus those who voted for 1 to 6. So promoters minus detractors. And in video game industry, we have a score of NPS which is equal minus 19. That demonstrates a certain level of disloyalty of most professionals to their studios. How can we manage that? Well, identifying the key factors behind it can help you to navigate the challenges. And our study reveals that there are 4 main factors. 2 of them can actually make a change, and if you invest in them, you can make a very huge difference. First one, manager's mindfulness, direct manager's mindfulness and management style. And another one is company's care for employees' well-being means policies. The third and the fourth factor are remote work policies and their consistency and work experience of individuals. By investing into managers training, leadership trainings, and increasing the scores that people give to this, to management style and mindfulness, you can increase their satisfaction by investing into adapting work policy and mental health policy to your new employees or to some new feedback. You can also increase, and it's statistically proven, you can increase their satisfaction and their loyalty to the company. So how to create an environment where people actually care of what you are building together? Invest into leadership trainings. And there are only 13% of companies who actually train their managers in supporting employees' mental health. But some of them, they do it, and they share their experience, like Jimbo and did. They implemented leadership training, realized that it should be a very common thing to do every year. And it's important not only provide employees knowledge and access to tools, but also access to an environment where they can practice and polish their skills. Changes in mental health policies are needed. As you can see, 1 of 3 people in video game industry faced white hiring, overtime without payment, and layoffs this year, which means that there is inconsistency in some of the norms, and they can influence their satisfaction and loyalty to the company. This includes burnout prevention, caring for mental health at work, and promoting diversity and inclusion. And the fourth and the third factor, the last but not least, are remote work policies. The majority of respondents prefer working from home, but this is not the only thing you need to remember. Professionals are very sensitive to to changes that happened in remote work policy after COVID started to end. And what happened is most of them were forced to work from the office, and they feel unhappy, and they feel that their company do not trust them. So when you announce changes, make sure that you communicate it clearly, and make sure that you follow those respect, trust, ideas. So, okay, so this is the final step in our journey. And before I share with you some interesting answers to the questions that we raised at the beginning, I want to invite you to our talent platform if you're looking for new opportunities, or if you are looking for new talents. We put talent first, and we support companies that follow the same principles. We offer 2 ways to hire and be hired, and this is the platform where you can find your next creative rockstar or the dream job. Okay, remember we started from a question about viruses and toxic workplace culture. As a takeaway from this presentation, I really want you to remember this idea. So viruses spread really fast only if they can be adaptive. Imagine a super harmful virus that affects people and leads to a very critical state of their health. They won't spread. But remember, last time you have a flu, you probably was able to walk around, to talk to people, and the virus was able to spread. Same with toxic environments. When there is a very negative, direct feedback provided, when there are harmful environment, usually people can easily recognize that and prevent it. But if we're talking about something like toxic workplace culture that cannot be identified in some time, it's hard to measure it. It's hard to understand what is happening, especially if you don't have language and tools to do that. So it can spread out and it can affect so many people. But same with viruses. Remember that for those of you who are able to deal with it, it might went, well, without a great damage. But some of the people, if the virus affects them, it can lead to a critical state. So toxic workplace culture, when we're talking about it, we need to think about everyone and everyone that can be affected by it. And what is the solution from spreading a virus? Vaccination. And if we're talking about mental health, our vaccine is knowledge. So by learning and exploring, and by sitting here today, you actually equip yourself with necessary tools to identify things that might happen in workplace culture that we discussed today, and make a change. This is all I wanted to share with you. But because at AT level, with years of experience, years of interviews and reports, and with the focus of game dev industry, we really value data. So we combined all the information about the topic in a nice and comprehensive report that you can download for free. But again, this is not a universal solution. You need to find yours. And if you need a custom one, you know whom to reach out. I'm here for you, as well as my team. So download the full research report and learn more about mental health state of the industry. Learn more about AT level. All links are here. And also, if you have any questions or comments, reach out to me directly. I'm here for you, and I'm ready to talk about it. Or if you have any questions now, please raise your hand. I will be happy to answer them. Thank you very much.